Welcome back, and joining me for a closer look at what's played out on the market scene today is Imtiaz Suliman from Sentio Capital. Thank you so much for your time, Imtiaz. I do see the sharp gain in the equity space today, but I'm really more encouraged by the strength that we are seeing on the rand. It's once again comfortably below that 19 rand level against the US dollar. Is a risk back on the table?
Nice, Anati. Yeah, I think what we're seeing a little bit now is that there's some domestic factors that are contributing towards that rand performance, which is the GNU and the talks around the GNU. And it seems like there is willingness for the GNU to work out by both parties, which is the DA and the ANC. It still hangs in the balance, but I think there's been some incremental positive news in that direction. And then from a global perspective, we've seen that the dollar has been under some pressure, which is benefiting the rand and the strength that we're seeing come through. So both local as well as global macro factors contributing to the positive rand performance.
Yeah, indeed. It's quite nice to see that filtering through positively to the rand. And of course, the dollar there seeming quite shaky. Of course, we had seen other currencies like the sterling and also the euro. They're gaining significantly. I think at some point the euro was at a 3-year high against the US dollar. Even the yen actually back to levels close to 140 against the US dollar. Well, let's actually talk about the global developments, because we have had Trump putting in exemptions, tariff exemptions on tech and electronic devices. Is it a good day to be in tech?
Yeah, the market initially had quite a bit of a bounce. That seems to be fading a little bit. I think this stop-start tariff policy announcement creates a lot of uncertainty. And while Trump did say there would be an exemption, he said that the tariffs will be reviewed and they will come back at some point in time. So we don't know at what point in time they would come back, and we don't know at what level they would settle. And this uncertainty really creates a pocket or vacuum, which the market doesn't really enjoy, because it needs certainty, and businesses and consumers also need certainty. So from a business perspective, it becomes very difficult to make investment decisions for new capital outlays. And from a consumer perspective, the spending levels are also affected as consumers hold back with regards to the uncertainty and the tariff uncertainty that it creates. So I think what you're seeing now is a bit of a relief bounce, but we do need a firm outcome in terms of the tariffs, and which we know is going to take some time to settle.
All right. Well, other developments happening overseas. We have US earnings kicking off, and we have the Chinese trade data. We'll come back to those if we have time, but I quickly want to go into some of the JSE company news that came out. So Remgro actually had its Capital Markets Day in Somerset West today, where they were engaging with stakeholders on their focus areas. They gave us a trading update on a Mediclinic, also gave us the investment thesis for CIVH, which is now massive, but also an update on the next steps in terms of that merger between Remgro and Vodacom on the potential massive deal. I did see that the share price actually popped about 4%. What did investors get out of that?
Yeah, I think overall, if you look at it, Remgro is a holding company, and it has a number of assets, both listed as well as unlisted. So Mediclinic was listed. They took that private with another partner, and that's now the biggest asset in terms of their stable. Whether they can close this discount to its net asset value is what they're trying to do, and unlock some of that value. So if you look at the deal with Vodacom, as you mentioned, on the fiber side, there's a lot of investment that needs to be made with regards to investing into the asset, rolling out more fiber, and trying to monetize the asset further. The deal has been held up by the Competition Commission, which is now under review. So I think if you do see that deal go ahead, what it would allow is for Vodacom as the other party to put in some capital and roll out and expand the fiber network further. And then with regards to some of the other unlisted assets that Remgro has, how can they unlock further value? So we spoke about Mediclinic, pretty much a South African play. And then you've got Outsurance, which is the other big listed asset in their stable, which has done fantastically well.
All right. Well, before we get to your stock pick, quickly going into gold mining, Gold Fields actually had an announcement out on a mining lease extension that they had applied for in Ghana that was rejected by the authorities, and the government saying that they need to stop all operations at the mine by the 18th of April. That is in 4 days. We did see the stock plunging over 6%. How material is this for Gold Fields?
It's in the bigger scheme of things, it's not material. This mine in Ghana was at the end of life, or in terms of the ounces that it could mine. And if you look at it, what Gold Fields essentially was doing was it was an open pit mine, and they were mining the stockpiles that was there. So it's not a major impact, but I think what the market was expecting is that there would be some extension on this lease, and Gold Fields will continue to mine it, but that doesn't seem to be the case. If you look at it from an overall perspective, Gold Fields was the underperformer in the gold sector today, down about 6%, whilst AngloGold and Harmony were down between 0.5% to 1%. So a bit of negativity did come through in terms of the share price.
All right. Well, let's go into what you are seeing as positive at the moment. Your stock pick, Imtiaz.
Yeah, I'm going with Capitec. Capitec put out a trading update a few weeks back saying that their earnings are going to be up between 28 and 32%. And I think if you look at it from an overall perspective, that is a very strong update. I think the big attraction for me in terms of Capitec is that they still have quite a bit of levers of growth to pull. So the next lever of growth that they are going to monetize quite significantly is on the business banking side. They've done very well on the retail banking side with 23 million customers, very digital savvy and advanced in that perspective. And then if you look at it from an insurance perspective, again, they've taken the JV that they've had with Sanlam back solely onto their books, and that also has been doing very well. So I think if you look at it from a growth perspective, you've got the business banking, you've got insurance, and the retail banking all performing quite strongly. And I think we will see further growth out of Capitec.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your insights there on what has been moving investors' money today. Imtiaz, really appreciate it. That was Imtiaz Suliman from Sentio Capital.